Welcome back to another Trade Alts technical analysis, and in this video I'm going to recap our basic attention token trade I talked about in last week's video. It played out very nicely, and I'm going to go over a few altcoin charts that are very similar to the basic attention token setup that I mentioned last week and see if we can look for any setups there. Let's get to the charts. So if you recall from last week's video, I think it was on the 11th that I shot the video, which would be this candle right here. So I did the video, talked about the setup on this candle, and I had highlighted this green box of support that I said I'd really like to see, if this was tested, I'd be very interested in a trade. And I think it's likely to be really strong support considering it's kind of the top of the cloud here. You have your daily Tenkin that's sitting right here. That's typically really nice support. So, and you have your weekly level at 1300 sats even. So this, you have your confluence here, really like that. And sure enough, price came down, and you can see we literally sat here for a few days right at support before you got the really nice move up. So that, again, this is what I was talking about in the previous video. And the reasoning for that is also, it's actually the 2-day chart. So again, I was talking about the edge-to-edge trade, which in the edge-to-edge trades, you are looking for basically once price closes inside a cloud, you're looking for a move to the opposite edge of the cloud, which we did get. And this, it's just shy of like the perfect touch of the edge of the cloud, but I consider this hit. This is a very nice trade setup. So this is kind of the confluence. This is another form of confluence that I had to get into that trade that I did. And I shared that with Discord. It's kind of funny, this morning, I had posted this 11:30 this morning, and I was sharing and I was kind of making a crack about the green boxes, but it held up really nicely. You can see where price was, was starting to push up. And here's the 2-day chart that I shared this morning. And we were still sitting here at 1600 sats, but we had pushed through this key level again. So I was like, I'm really liking how this is looking. And then I said here, let's see if we can get to 2150, so 2150 sats. If you look on your chart here, the wick high was 2120. So it was super close to 2150. That's kind of where I was aiming for. But I call that hit. Very nice trade. And just from entry, which I think mine was around, it's like 1284 or something. I caught a really nice entry on this, but yeah, let's just take it. I mean, even just from the weekly level, 63% move, and then, within the span of a few days, like phenomenal trade, really well done. But again, when you're dealing with the edge-to-edge trades, just to recap on that, you get your cloud, or you get your candle close inside of cloud. You have your bullish TK cross here, and you have your Chiku span is above price. So, again, all of those criteria met. I did talk about this in the previous video, though, why I wasn't interested in taking this trade here. And I've covered basic attention token a few times now in my videos, but I do remember right around here, I said that I wouldn't want to enter because the risk reward wasn't that great, because you can see where the candle close was in relation to kind of the bottom and the top of the cloud, and I didn't like that. And I had talked about, like, if price happens to retrace down to these levels, then I would be interested, which is what price did, and we got a really nice trade out of that. But again, I love Ichimoku. I love edge-to-edge trades. They're incredible trades, honestly. So I kind of went through a few different alts to see if there was anything else lining up similar to basic attention token that I could talk about. And I found a couple that were interesting. So one, I had also shared in Discord. So if I scroll up and try to find it here, I think this is it. So this is on the 13th I posted this. So this is CND BTC. And you can see you literally got your close. I'm not sure if you can see this right here. If I open the original, there we go. So right here, you got your candle close inside a cloud. You have your bullish TK cross, Chiku span above price, and you have this really nice flat Kumo sitting here about 85 sats. So that would be a really nice target for that. Kind of the one thing that I you know, this is kind of irrelevant to, it's kind of when the setup appears, it's a setup and you take it. But the kind of the Tenkin angling down here, it's still, again, it still looks good, but that was kind of a, I kind of looked at that and said, who knows. But back to this chart, you can see again right here, this was your trigger on the 12th. And so far you've got a really nice move. This is literally your setup. So you have your candle close inside a cloud here. And your stop loss would be, I would hide behind Kijun, to be honest. It's really like, if price starts to come back out of cloud, if candle close below cloud, then, it's kind of tough. Like, that's technically when you would exit the trade, but considering, the stop loss, I would probably still keep it behind Kijun here. But again, look at the risk reward. Very nice on this. So you're risking, it's almost a 6-to-1 trade. So, it looks really nice as it stands. I do think that price, it has a nice opportunity here to hit, what is this, 85, 86 sats, something like that. So CND, which is the Cindicator token, something to keep in mind. Definitely something to pay attention to, see how this trade progresses. Another one is DigiByte. So we're not in the cloud, like this is not a valid setup, but this is kind of something, I know there's quite a few people who like DigiByte, but this is just something that is kind of starting to possibly set up. You had your candle close here inside a cloud, but you did not have your bullish TK cross. So obviously this is not a trade. And what happened? Price came back down. So the thing is, you're still bullishly crossed. Price is kind of sitting right at right at Kijun here, which is basically, it's right at equilibrium. We'll see what happens. But if you manage to get a spike up, what would be really nice is over the next few weeks is if price can kind of go sideways and break into cloud somewhere around here. And, if this is still bullishly crossed, your blue Tenkin above your yellow Kijun, if that's still crossed, then your risk reward on this could be really nice. And again, if you look at the top of your cloud here, which is sitting around 193 sats, really nice flat Kumo there, could be a really nice edge-to-edge trade potential. So that's something to keep in mind. DigiByte. Doc is an example of one that played out and just ripped. Like, so Doc has been a phenomenal, and for those of you who are trading bots, Doc is one that I do happen to trade. I don't trade the Bitcoin pairing, but I do like Doc quite a bit. And so a little bit of a little hint for you guys there. And then you had your edge-to-edge your entry right here. So you had your 2-day candle close within cloud. You had your bullish TK cross. Price was above, or I'm sorry, your Chico span was above price. So this is a green light trade, and I mean, just rocket ship up to the top. You're talking a 68% trade again, and you literally hit that in a matter of a week. I mean, that's another really nice trade that ended up working out quite nicely. The only risk to this is if you look at the shape of the cloud, like obviously over here, your invalidation really is pretty close to your entry. So that's kind of what I liked about it. You did get a wick through below here, but no close. So that was kind of, if your stop loss, if you're keeping it below your Kijun here, you would have been just fine. But, you didn't have a close below, and then you got your finish, you got your obvious edge to edge trade. And now price is coming back. It's inside a cloud. So really you had a potential for, I would really like to see this hold. And obviously the candle, it will close tonight. So we'll see what happens. If this closes back inside cloud, then I really would look for this to kind of return, probably retest your Kijun and start consolidating within this cloud and wait to see, what happens. Obviously it's a 2-day time frame. It takes quite a bit of time for these types of trades to play out. But what you could see is just like some kind of consolidation. It literally could come here and just kind of consolidate in cloud for a while. And then you're waiting for, your eventual hopeful bullish Kumo twist here. And then, kind of see what happens at that time. But as far as I'm concerned, right now, there's no trade at all, like as on this pairing, on this time frame. You certainly can be trading it on lower time frames, but on the 2-day, there's really nothing to be seen here. If price does manage to close above cloud, that would be pretty nice though. So like again, the candle closes tonight, about 18.5 hours or so. If it does manage to kind of hold this, then that, you know, I mean, you're kind of, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't probably bother with that, to be fair, because I don't like to really trade things unless you have your bullish Kumo twist here as well. But again, Doc, really nice trade though. You had another beautiful edge to edge trade that played out in really quick fashion, and quite nice one there. Last one, Kava. And so what do you see, right? We're in the current candle. Current candle closes in 18.5 hours, so it closes today. And price is in cloud. So this is one that will trigger the edge to edge trade on this candle close if price closes inside of cloud. Ideally, I would like to get a better entry than this though. So there's no entry until the candle closes inside of cloud. So we have to wait and see what happens at daily close today to see where price is. But as far as this goes, this is looking really nice. You see, you know, really nice flat Kumo up here all the way at, you know, was that 25,000 sats. You have, you know, again, this isn't Ichimoku related, but I like to have my other levels on my charts to kind of give me an idea of where I could possibly, you know, look to take profit as well. But you have a really nice potential trade here. And just to give you an idea, just from where price is currently sitting to the top of the cloud, let me get it a little bit better. I mean, you're talking 111%, and that is a very nice potential trade. If, you know, again, we have to wait and see what happens at daily close tonight, and kind of see where prices come back and check it, and then we'll see what kind of entry we could possibly have. But you have your Tenkin, your Kijun kind of sitting down here by the macro point of control. It's kind of a ways away from where price is currently sitting. So what I really would like though is, you know, if this does happen to close in cloud, well, I'll have to reevaluate, see what happens, you know, see if there's a nice setup to be taken. But if price happens to kind of work its way down slowly, similar, like this is very similar to how I was analyzing BAT, so basic attention token, and that, look what happened there. So if you can get a, you know, an entry that's lower here while price is still in cloud and you have your obvious confirmation, you lower, you know, you improve your risk reward, and it could be a very nice trade. So this is one to pay really close attention to. You don't know, you know, you don't know where price is going to close, but again, let's say that, you know, it closes here, you know, it's, even if you just look at the potential, it's insane, you know. And as far as your stop loss, this is really, again, this is kind of impossible for me to say right now, because I want to actually analyze this once price closes inside a cloud. But anyway, I went over basic attention token. That was a massive win. That was a nice one. You know, Syndicator, the CND, DigiByte, Doc, that was a really nice one. Great example there. And then Kava, this is one to be paying attention to. So again, come back daily close, look at your 2-day cloud, see where it closes, and go from there. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you were able to learn something if you're new to Ichimoku. And I appreciate everybody watching this video. You guys have a great night. Trade safe out there.